Hello again, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail. Paul Schrimpf here with Eric Sfiligoj from our respective bunkers. How you doing, Eric?
Oh, good. Although I'm not in the bunker, Paul. If you look behind me, I actually made the trek into our office today to work on some CropLife 100 stuff. And, lo and behold, I have almost the building to myself. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad deal. There's a couple times I've come in when it's been completely empty, and it is nice to just be able to do what you want, so to speak, within.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about the Lorna Doones that were in your top left drawer, but they were delicious.
I thought those were better hidden than that. I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
They may hit you back in an hour or two. So what's going on? So CropLife America meeting is this week. I got to sit in on parts of that. Of course, when you reserve these things, as with many virtual events, then you get piled on from the office with lots of other stuff that distracts you. But I managed to sit through a few things, and things seem to be going well with that meeting. I think they're doing a good job of putting that together. One of the talks was, the thing that we discussed a couple of weeks ago, talking about the term pesticide versus crop protection and,
right.
The reasons for using that. And you got all over me for saying no. But we got a lot of interest in the editorial that I wrote, put that out online and got hundreds of looks at it, probably people saying similar things to you, but a lot of good responses to it too. And it's an interesting debate. It's interesting to talk about. But clearly, pesticides, when you look at Google searches and everything else, is so far above crop protection in terms of what people search for. Despite the negative connotation, keeping it out there is part of what we talk about. It's if we want to be part of the discussion, it's hard to completely avoid it.
Yes, absolutely. So I know that we did get a couple of comments when we brought this up a few videos ago, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things progress here. And if again, I told you, I think this is the Survey Monkey we need to do, kind of throw it out to the viewers, readers of the magazine, and see what their opinions are, and then follow through accordingly. So
sure. Absolutely. So speaking of surveys, you got CropLife 100, and that's kind of why you're in the office, I think, today, right? Is to work on a survey. How we doing there?
Well, we're doing pretty good, Paul. We've got about 70 of them in so far, so I'm only missing like 30. As I have noted, a lot of the people I was sending surveys to earlier in the summer, apparently those emails are starting to bounce back. So people are either retiring or have left their companies. So I'm having to find new people to send the surveys to. So if you actually are getting regular mail in the office, you look for some hard copy surveys, because I'm defaulting to that without an active email for some of the companies out there that we're missing. So
absolutely. And if you're out there and you should be getting one and you don't have it, please reach out to Eric. He's always happy to take new contacts and get this thing moving. So that's good. What else you got going on, sir?
Well, a couple of videos ago, I mentioned, of course, that the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California, had been postponed for 2021. And I know in that video I speculated that one of the big shows out there was the National Farm Machinery Show that takes place in Louisville mid-February every year. I actually, after having mentioned that on video, I heard from a company that is a regular exhibitor at that event that said that the organizers of the National Farm Machinery Show have been in touch with exhibitors, and they're promising to make a decision here in the next month or so regarding whether or not the trade show will continue forward as an in-person event come February 2021. So stay tuned on that. We'll be finding out more hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big one. It'd be a big one to lose for the Midwest, unfortunately, but I guess we'll see. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, actually, a kind of a good news, bad news. I know we've been following all the purchases being made by China and other countries around the world of U.S. agricultural products. I had a report that said that as of September 22nd, 833,000 tons of soybeans and 140,000 tons of corn from the U.S. have been shipped to China and other destinations around the world, which is the good news. Now, in particular, when it comes to Chinese purchases, China is now purchased year to date 15% more soybeans in 2020 than they did in 2019, and 50% more corn than they did a year ago. But the bad news of all this is, of course, according to the Phase 1 trade deal that China and the U.S. put in place back in January, China is supposed to purchase about $200 billion more in agricultural goods than they did in 2017. And based on hitting those numbers, they still have a very long way to go here in 2020.
Yeah. I guess we'll see, but it's not much time to make that up, is there?
No. But again, the speculation is that buying will continue strong through September and maybe even into October. So the next month or month and a half should be very good for the U.S. crop growers in terms of finding a market in China and elsewhere for their crops.
Very good. Well, it's always good news to move the crop. Hopefully, we'll move some more by end of year and keep things moving.
Yep. So that's about all I got this week, unless you got anything else you want to share.
No, I think that's about it. I say based on Twitter, and you see some of the Iowa farmers that are trying to harvest up what the derecho laid down, and that's tough to see and heartbreaking. But it's that's something that folks are working through. But everywhere else, things are moving. It's difficult to get a hold of retailers, which is good. Means everybody's on the move. Everybody's got work to do. Once this gets off, get the fertilizer down and keep things rolling. So I haven't seen a lot of negatives. I mean, there's some dry spots here and there, but I haven't seen a ton of negative across the country. It's been really pretty good.
Yep.
All righty. Well, that's it for this edition of CropLife Retail. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next week.
If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below.
Your feedback is important to us. We'll try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.